Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful spoilers and rumors tease that when Nick Marone, Jack Wagner returns to his sailing and leaves LA, someone will sail away with him. But since it seems that Brooke Logan, Catherine, Kelly Lang, and Ridge Forrester Torsten Kay will reconcile, will Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Boot, sail away with him? This year's long romantic rivalry that is most famous over Ridge Forrester Torsten Kay isn't the only one that Brooke and Taylor have had. They were both married to Nick too, as well as both married to Thorne Forrester Windsor Harmon, although Taylor's way behind Brooke in relationships. While Taylor may stay around town because of her daughter and grandchildren, chances are, once Ridge is reunited, she'll be written off the show again. Taylor will be broken-hearted again, although this time around she seems to be playing it smart, now that she knows her broken heart syndrome isn't fatal. She's not rushing into a remarriage to Ridge, and they've recently discussed his obvious torch for Brooke. It would make sense that if and when Liam, Spencer, Scott, Clifton eventually dies, Taylor may make a mother-daughter trip along with the children, and Steffy Forrester Jacqueline McInnes would. While that might get her away from being reminded she's lost Ridge to Brooke again, it's not going to heal her heart, but she's with Ridge for the moment. Ridge's jealousy was palpable in a recent B&B episode when he walked in and saw Nick in the Forrester office with Brooke, and that jealousy spoke volumes. That makes it obvious that Brooke and Nick won't remarry. He'll sail off again, and she'll probably remarry Ridge. It makes a lot more sense for Nick and Taylor to sail off together. If Taylor's going to be leaving the show again, and she deserves a happily ever after as much as Brooke does. There's been no indication that Taylor will be written out this time, but considering it's happened so many times before, no one would be surprised. Why not let Taylor spend her happily ever after with Nick instead of Ridge, since Ridge will never be able to commit to one woman for life? That way, if Nick and Taylor do return to LA sometime in the future to spend time with her family, with Brooke and Ridge probably broken up again, she can respond in 9 words. Actually, Nick might just say these 9 words to Ridge with Taylor. You had your chance, and you blew it again. In the ever-twisting tide of love, regret, and redemption that defines the bold and the beautiful, sometimes it takes a return to the sea to find solid ground. And in a bold stroke of fate, Taylor Hayes may just be considering the most unexpected course of all, sailing away with Nick Marone. As Ridge Forrester spirals into another emotional triangle with Brooke, Logan, and an emerging professional rivalry with Nick, Taylor finds herself caught in the undertow of her own choices. But while the waves of the past lap at her feet, could a voyage with an old flame offer the fresh start she never dared dream of? The storm before the contentions at Forrester Creations have reached a breaking point, with Nick Marone's surprise return complete with a new vision for fashion. Philanthropy. Ridge has grown increasingly combative. Their rivalry is no longer just about design. It's personal, and it's growing more vicious by the day. Brooke, of course, stands by Ridge, though her eyes occasionally wander back to Nick with a flicker of nostalgic warmth. But it's Taylor, standing on the periphery, who quietly observes the drama unfolding. And it's Taylor, remarkably calm in the storm, who may have the most to lose or to gain. After years of emotional tug-of-war, Taylor has reached a crossroads. For all her growth, introspection, and attempts to reclaim her own narrative, she still feels like a supporting character in Ridge and Brooke's never-ending love story. And now, as she watches Ridge lash out at Nick over business and ego, she finds herself asking, "Why am I still here?" That question echoes louder when Nick unexpectedly invites her aboard the Shady Marlin II, the infamous yacht once synonymous with their whirlwind romance. A surprise invitation happens casually, almost too casually to mean what it really means. Nick stops by Taylor's office at the hospital, under the pretense of asking about a charity mental health initiative, but halfway through the conversation, he leans forward, with that familiar half-grin, "Still like the open water, Doc?" Taylor blinks. "I haven't been on the ocean in years." Nick chuckles. "That's a shame. The Marlin's been spruced up. You should see her now." Taylor crosses her arms, intrigued but cautious. "Is this a social call, Nick? Or are you just angling for a donation?" He doesn't answer right away. Instead, he slides a small, folded piece of paper across her desk, a simple invitation to a weekend sail. Just the two of them, and suddenly, Taylor's mind is flooded with memories. Champagne under stars, deep talks in the dark, the way Nick once looked at her like she wasn't an afterthought. The feelings she thought she buried start clawing their way to the surface. Ridge notices too late. Back at Forrester, Ridge has been too consumed by Nick's reintegration into the fashion world to notice Taylor's emotional shift. Or perhaps, deep down, he believes Taylor will always be their constant in the carousel of his romantic indecision. But Steffi notices, in a quiet moment between mother and daughter. Steffi gently confronts Taylor. "You've been smiling more lately, but not the kind of smile Dad gives you. This one feels ... free." Taylor's expression softens. Sometimes the people who truly see you aren't the ones standing closest. It doesn't take a genius to piece it together. When Ridge later hears from Steffi that Taylor's been seen near the Marone docks, he bristles with a mix of jealousy and arrogance. He's using her. Ridge mutters to Brooke, who watches him with raised brows. Nick doesn't care about Taylor. But Brooke, who once knew Nick's heart better than Ridge ever did, surprises him. "Are you sure about that? Setting sail, or running away?" Friday arrives like a drumroll. Taylor stands at the dock, dressed not in a flowing gown, but in soft linen and boat shoes. She clutches the rail of the Marlin and stares at the horizon. She's here, but is she really going? Nick steps out from below deck, his shirt loose in the breeze, his eyes unreadable. "You made it." Taylor hesitates. "I don't know if this is a good idea." Nick shrugs. "It doesn't have to be a big thing. It can just be two people reconnecting. Or it can be a new beginning. Either way, it's your choice." Choice, that's what this really is. For once, Taylor is being offered a choice without conditions, expectations, or manipulation, and in the distance, behind the haze of morning light, she hears Ridge's voice calling her name. Ridge's race against time. Ridge, after hearing from Hope that Taylor's car was seen headed toward the marina, jumps in his own and races to intercept her. The thought of Taylor leaving sends panic surging through him. For years, she's been his fallback, his solace when Brooke became too complicated. But now that safety net might be vanishing. He arrives at the dock just as the Marlin starts to move. "Taylor," she turns. So does Nick. Ridge races down the pier, winded and frustrated. "Don't do this. Don't throw everything away." Taylor stands tall at the stern of the boat, no longer looking small in Ridge's shadow. "Everything." "Ridge, what are you talking about? We haven't had everything in years." "I've had scraps." He pleads with his eyes. "We can fix this." Taylor shakes her head gently. "That's the difference between you and Nick. He doesn't want to fix the past, he wants to build something new." The boat pulls away. Ridge stands alone on the dock, watching her disappear into the horizon. Back on the water out on the open sea, Taylor breathes deeply. The wind tangles her hair, but she doesn't care. Nick hands her a glass of wine and sits beside her on the bow. "Still think this was a mistake?" he asks. She smiles for the first time in days. "I think this might be the first right move I've made in a long time." They don't kiss. Not yet, but their hands touch. And that's enough. Reactions across Los Angeles. Steffi is stunned when she hears her mother has sailed away with Nick. At first, she worries Taylor is acting on impulse, but a deeper part of her, the daughter, who watched her mother suffer through Ridge's waffling, feels pride. She chose herself, Steffi says to Finn. Finally, Brooke watches Ridge sulk. And though she doesn't gloat, she also doesn't comfort him. "You don't get to keep people in your back pocket forever," she says quietly. "Not Taylor. Not me." Hope, oddly inspired by Taylor's bold move, begins reevaluating her own future. Could she be clinging to something that no longer serves her? And Bill Spencer, ever the opportunist, begins wondering if he should keep an eye on Taylor's sail toward independence. After all, he and Nick were once rivals. What if this new alliance brings Nick back into the business world and in Bill's path? What's next for Taylor? Taylor's not abandoning her life. She's not running away from her children, her career, or her principles. She's taking a breather, real one. She's rediscovering what she wants, and not what Ridge or anyone else expects from her. And Nick, he's not offering a fairy tale. He's offering companionship, laughter, challenge. A voyage that doesn't promise calm waters, but promises truth. Could this really be the start of something new? Or will storm clouds gather on the horizon once more? One thing's for sure, for Taylor Hayes. The tides have finally turned. Final word, a bold move for a bold woman as Los Angeles buzzes with whispers of Taylor and Nick's nautical escape. Fans are left wondering, is this the real deal, or another scenic detour in Taylor's long romantic journey? Whatever the outcome, one thing is clear: Taylor is no longer willing to wait at the shoreline for someone else to choose her. She's set sail. And this time, she's the captain. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Bold and Beautiful Update YouTube channel for more update news.